Right now, while you're lying in a bed, behind a locked door, in a house with walls, your ancestors were doing something completely different. They were climbing. Every single night, for millions of years, our ancestors slept above the ground, in trees. So what changed? And why did we come down and never really go back up? Okay, our closest living relatives, chimpanzees and gorillas, still build nests in trees every single night, not occasionally. Every night, a fresh nest, high in the canopy. For most of our evolutionary history, early homins did the same thing. Sleeping on the ground in the open would have been a death sentence. Though somewhere along the way, something changed enough that coming down from the trees stopped being suicidal and started being survivable. That shift didn't happen because humans got braver. It happened because the entire environment around them changed first. Survival. A leopard, a hyena, or a large cat could reach you on the ground in seconds. But most predators either can't climb well or can't climb fast enough to catch something already 20 feet up. Sleeping in a tree wasn't about comfort. It was almost entirely about physics. Get high enough, fast enough, and most threats simply couldn't reach you. Nest building itself was a skill. Chimpanzees today weave branches and leaves into a spring-like platform in under 10 minutes every evening without fail. Early hominins likely did the same, meaning bedtime for our ancestors was actually a nightly construction project. Something you just wandered into. Somewhere around 2 million years ago, something in the human skeleton shifted. Early Homo species show longer legs, shorter arms, and, critically, a spine and pelvis increasingly built for walking upright on the ground, not swinging or gripping branches efficiently. This wasn't a random mutation, it was a trade-off. As bodies adapted for long-distance walking across open savanna, they became progressively worse at climbing. That means at some point, our ancestors weren't choosing between trees and ground. Their bodies were quietly voting for one option over the other, generation by generation, without any single individual deciding anything. Here's the piece that made ground sleeping actually survivable: fire. Once early, humans could reliably keep a fire burning through the night. They had something no other savanna animal had, a portable predator deterrent. Most nocturnal predators are instinctively wary of flame and smoke. A group with a controlled fire could sleep in the open, in a cave, or in a simple shelter, and dramatically cut the risk that came with staying on the ground. Fire also meant groups could stay together in one place, rather than each individual finding their own tree each night. That mattered more than it might sound. A huddled group near a fire is far harder for a predator to isolate and attack than scattered individuals in separate trees. Sleeping on the ground, in groups, near fire, changed more than just where humans rested. It allowed deeper, more consistent sleep. Tree nesting is precarious, and a shift in weight or a snapping branch can jolt you awake. Ground sleep near a guarded fire meant longer stretches of uninterrupted rest, and deeper REM sleep in particular, which some researchers linked to memory consolidation and even the growth of more complex social behavior and language. In other words, coming down from the trees may not have just been a survival shift. It may have quietly helped make us smarter. So here's the uncomfortable irony. We often think of sleeping in a tree as primitive and sleeping in a bed as civilized progress. But the truth is almost the opposite of what we assume. Tree sleeping was the safe, cautious default for millions of years. Ground sleeping was the risky innovation, one that only worked because humans had already solved fire, cooperation, and shelter first. We didn't leave the trees because we were ready to be safe. We left because we'd already built the safety ourselves. Every night you fall asleep, without a second thought about predators, without building a nest, without needing a fire watch. Dutch, you're relying on hundreds of thousands of years of accumulated human problem solving. Your ancestors didn't get safety. They built it one fire, one shelter, one generation at a time. Wait, if you want to see what happened, once ground sleep became normal and what that meant for early human tribes, hit subscribe. This is Ancestral Line,